Okay, so I'm going to talk about the noise gate area on this board. So a noise gate is something that will basically turn off the microphone when it's not used to a certain threshold. So say that you had someone who was giving a speech or something, and they were standing right next to an air conditioning unit or some sort of white noise or air filter or something that was just kind of giving constant noise, or maybe like the drums, for instance, how there's so many mics up there, and you probably don't want the tom mic. That's a tom right there. You might not want that microphone to pick up what comes through the cymbals, because you want to be able to control them individually. So this will allow you to do that by basically turning off the mic when the signal coming through the microphone is not loud enough. So to do that, you'll want to come over to the computer, because it's easiest, and you kind of have a graphical representation of the noise gate. So obviously, so you see there's the power button on the computer, and then we also have it on the board itself. So we'll go ahead and press it there. And there also does the same thing. So now you see this little graph here. So what this is saying is I gotta think about this. This is the incoming signal right here. And this is the outgoing signal. That's not the best. That doesn't really. Well, I shouldn't really have said that. That doesn't really apply to this graph. But basically, you see how as the input comes in, it's not going to output anything. Like there's nothing here. So if you want the person to have to talk really, really loud into the mic for anything to come out, you're going to have to put it up high. Whereas if there's just a really, really, really quiet noise that you want to block out, but it's not really that loud, you can just put it down there. So, say for instance, we can just play with this a second. So, it's going to be hard for me to switch. So, the noise gate is off right now, and so I can kind of do a little sound, and it's coming through the board. Now, if I turn the noise gate on, if I make that same sound, it's not coming through the board. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm talking normally, and it's coming through. But if I make the sound, it's not coming through the board, unless I get really close and it's loud enough for the threshold. Now, this is a problem though, because if someone is holding the mic really far away, it's not going to pick them up as well as if you had it turned off. Because some people like to hold the mic really far away, and so if they do that and you have the gate on, it might block out some of their normal talking. So maybe you have a really, really high gate, and so I'm holding the mic up to my mouth and there's still nothing coming out. Unless I basically yell into it, then it comes out. But in my normal voice, nothing is coming out. Unless I yell into it, normally you probably wouldn't have a gate this high. Maybe for drums, because the signal going into those mics is very high. But the only reason I use a gate is, I've put some on the drums just to isolate the sounds. I did put some gates on the electric guitars because the amps for them are in that back closet, and there are 2 air conditioning units back there. So sometimes their mics are almost right up against them, and those mics will pick up noise from that, and that noise will play in the house. So if I turn the gate on, and then raise this up to just the level where I don't hear that anymore, then it's basically filtered out, and they can play like normal. So that's the threshold you're adjusting here. The attack and release kind of it adjusts how fast the gate is applied to the channel, kind of like the reaction time of the system. So it's set on 5 milliseconds and 0.7 seconds release. I never really mess with those. I just kind of keep them in the middle. So that's what the gate does. It just kind of filters out outside noise so you can isolate what's really coming into the mic. Or you can think of it as turning off the mic until a loud enough sound is produced, and then it will pick it up and go through the board. So that is the noise gate feature.